Hello everyone, time for another Quickie. My last review was longer than I thought it would be, and I'm pretty swamped with upcoming animated videos, so this will be an actual Quickie, hopefully. A brief review of episode 2 of season 2 of House of the Dragon, Rhaenyra the Cruel. So I think this was a pretty fantastic episode. Artfully directed by Claire Kilner, who's becoming my favourite Hot D director, and written by Sarah Hess, who actually wrote the two weakest episodes of season 1, The Princess and the Queen, and the Green Council. She kind of redeemed herself here. This episode is full of amazing character moments and genuine drama, enhanced of course by fantastic actors. I also think Sarah Hess is slightly better than Ryan Condal at creating that fun, archaic dialogue and making it feel natural and not awkwardly pseudo-Shakespearean. This is an aftermath episode, and we get to explore how each character deals with grief, shame, and regret. Aegon's anguish is loud and violent. He curses, he destroys, he executes. Despite his ruthlessness, he's also humanized, initially rebelling against the idea of parading his dead son for political purposes, and later sobbing by himself following a day of trauma punctuated by the confirmation that his father never truly wanted him to be king. Helaena, by contrast, is quiet and insular, and later overwhelmed and overstimulated by the baying crowds of King's Landing. Otto the politician trumps Otto the great-grandfather. His propaganda stunt is both despicable but also admirably cunning, and it further demonstrates what an amazing character he is. Also, I agree with Quinn the GM that this was somehow a better Green Council scene than the actual Green Council itself.
I suppose you're right, Ironrod.
Ironrod mention, fuck yeah. The goat. Alicent's grief manifests as religious guilt, believing the gods to be punishing her for riding that Dornish dick. Kristen's guilt, meanwhile, manifests into something much darker, murderous projection.
What I think has no relevance!
I've always considered Sir Criston Cole to be one of the weakest characters in Hot D. He starts off fine as a Lancelot figure, but then the sudden Joffrey murder and the lack of consequences was confusing, and the strange manslaughter of Lyman Beesbury was stupid, and the lack of any actual king-making from Criston the Kingmaker was just disappointing. It felt like they fumbled his character. But this was Kristen's best episode yet, and probably Fabian Frankel's best performance. I finally understand this character. He's a full-blown, vulnerable narcissist. Full of himself, indulging parasitic relationships, raging over rejection, harbouring insane grudges, and of course the crazy projection. The way he shoved all his guilty feelings onto Arik, scolding him for his dirty cloak, blaming him for his twin brother, blaming him for Jaehaerys' murder. He sends this poor man to certain death to absolve himself. What a fucking scumbag. Aemond deals with his emotions by visiting a MILF and drinking warm milk. Utterly based. Though he presents a badass persona, the cold parenting from Alicent has left him starved of motherly affection. This shot is incredible, although I didn't need Aemond to clarify the Lucerys thing. It's telling and not showing, and we already know. Hot D has always been pretty good at showcasing generational trauma, and this episode is no different. Otto kind of trauma dumps on Alicent and then refuses to listen to her sinful confessions, and then Alicent catches Aegon crying, but instead of comforting him, returns to her bedchamber and gives Criston the high tussie. Rhaenyra's argument with Daemon was another highlight of the episode. Powerfully acted, dynamically directed, and just really well written. It wasn't melodramatic, it felt like a real couple's argument, finally addressing the personal and political tensions between them. And of course, Cargill Bowl was another standout. Get hype, get sad. Cargill Bowl gets sad. The blend of Fire and Blood interpretations was nice. The violence was brutal, but also there was a profession of love, which felt genuine and raw. It wasn't cheesy at all. Changing it from the twins killing each other to one killing the other and then killing himself was a fitting change in my opinion. I liked that. Although I do wish his identity was ambiguous at the end. That would have been way more powerful than, letting us know it was Eric. Going into the episode, I assumed the Cargill fight would be the best moment, but somehow it wasn't. It was overtaken by the glorious Otto scene, in which he drops the politician act and becomes an angry old grandfather. Watching Rhys Ifans let loose was a joy to behold. This motherfucker swallowed a thesaurus or something before he came in, goddamn.
Thoughtless, feckless, impetuousness, ill-considered, trifling, forbearance, judiciousness, dignity.
Trifling! He rages at the immorality and, most importantly, the political tragedy of hanging 100 innocent rat catchers. Otto oversteps the mark, allowing his puppet king to cut his own strings off. Criston the kind of guy to put that hand pin on his breastplate, just scraping it everywhere. You know, it's really fun to watch a scene go down and knowing it's going to be a classic. So what else? It's important to see the small folk in this war. Adam and Alan have good chemistry, Hugh's family life is cool, Ulf makes a surprise appearance too, although I can't deny that these scenes were probably the least interesting of the episode. And Mysaria happening to catch Sir Arik is a huge coincidence, but then again, so is Eric and Arik stumbling upon each other like in the book. Maybe there was a smarter way to have Mysaria be of service to Rhaenyra. Oh, and Daeron mentioned, at long last. Henry Cavill hype. Henry Cavill as 15-year-old Daeron, let's go. Otto abandoning his book plot and foraying into the Reach, into uncharted story territory, is very exciting for us book readers. I give Rhaenyra the Cruel 9 good boys out of 10 insolent pups. If you enjoyed this quickie, check out my episode 1 quickie right here. Feel free to like the video and subscribe for reviews and animated content. And special thanks to all of my patrons, including Alex, Andre, Boombler, Caden, Colshot, Devcole, and Loopsie. See you later.